Welcome, students of Hebrew, for this week's Hebrew class. I am Tom Howling, and let us begin. We are doing today Yehuchanan, which is John 12, verses 31 to 35. So let us begin with the usual slide to help anyone who might happen to drop in and be new. And we have a sign here which says Nakud, which means vowel marking, and some useful resources for anyone who's fairly new and wants to practice. And these are very useful. It's a dictionary and also one that has all the scriptures with transliterations and color coding, which sort of helps too. So let us now begin. And so I'm using also color coding to help us pronounce it. So we begin with Lamed, and on the left, Lamed has a value of 30, and the left has a value of 1, so we know we're in verse 31. And let's go through the letters. Ayin Tav Hey. Hey Ayin Vav Lamed Mem Safit Hey Zayin Hey Nun Dalet Vav and Nun Sofit. And we have Ayin Tav Hey Yod Shin Lamed Kaf Sofit, kaf at the end of a word. And then we have sin, because the dot is on the left side. Then we have a resh, and we have a hey, ayin, vav, lamed, mem sofit. Remembering that the vav is not said as a vav. Because of the dot above it, we only say the vowel there, which is an O sound. So let us begin. Ata. Ata, in this form with an ayin, not an aleph, it means now. Ha'olam, meaning the world. Ha-ze, this. Nidon, nidon is judged. If we look down here, we've got nidon is a verb to be sentenced, to be convicted, or to be judged. And it's like a completed action, is judged. And then we have ata, now, yushlak, which means shall be expelled. So let's have a look at, it sort of comes from hishlek, which is a verb to cast, to hurl, and to expel. So therefore, it can be translated to cast as well, as it is down here. And then we have Sar, meaning the prince. Ha'olam, of the world. Right, we also got down here Dan, because we had here Nidon. It comes from the kal verb Dan, is where we also get the name Daniel, right? It means to judge, to sentence. Right. And in the normal English, now is the judgment of this world. Now shall be cast out the prince of the world. Now let's read that without any help. And we go, Ata ha'olam hazeh nidon ata yushlak sar ha'olam. And let's move to part B. And we have hey, zayin, hey, chet, vav, but we see it's an u sound, zade, hey. So we have ha-ze, chutza, and it means to the outside. Right? And the translation is the world this out. Or outside, right? The world this out. Cast out of the world, in other words. And we see here the chutz is a masculine noun for outside or the outskirts. And as an adjective, it can be apart from, except for. And as a prefix, it can mean extra. Example of that is extracellular or extraterritorial. So it gives you an idea how it can be used as a prefix. So now let us read that. And it is Hazeh chutza. That means the prince of the world will be cast out of the world, this, outside, literally, right? And now we come to verse 32, represented with a lamed and a vayet, which has a value of 2. So we know we're in verse 32. And we have a vav, an aleph, a nun, a yod, a bayet, a hey, a nun, a sin, an aleph, a yod, a mem, ayin, lamed, hey, aleph, resh, zade sofit, aleph, mem, shin. This dot should be slightly over so you don't get confused with it, but it's a shin. Kaf sofit. This is a kaf, lamed, mem sofit. Aleph lamed yod. So now let's read it. Va ani, and I. Behi nasi. Behi nasi. In my lifting up. So how do we see that? If we look down there, nisa is the verb to be raised, to be lifted up. It also comes from nasa, which is a kal verb meaning to carry, to bear, to lift up, right? Same basic concepts there. So in is the bet, in my lifting up. And I my lifting up, me'al, which means from upon, ha'aretz, meaning the earth, the land, right? Em-shok. And the aleph means I, and then we have the word mashok. If we look down here, mashak is a kal verb to pull, to draw, to attract. So it is I shall draw. And then we have kulam, and literally it means all of them, or them all, because kul means all, and the mem is like them. And then we have ele, to me. And in English, but I, if I am lifted up from the earth, I shall draw all men to myself. Right, now let us read that. Va'ani behi nasi me'al ha'aretz em shok kulam elay. Okay, and now we're moving in 33. Lamed is 30. Gimel is the third letter of the alphabet, so its value is 3. And then we have a vav, zayin, aleph, tav, dalet, bayet, resh, lamed, resh, mem, vav, zayin, aleph, yod, zayin, hey, hey, mem, vav, tav, aleph, shin, resh, yod, mem, vav, tav. And we read it. V'zot. And this. Diber. And that means to speak. So therefore he spoke. Diber. Lir moz. To hint. Now, what is the root of that? The lamed is 2. So we have ramaz as a kal verb to hint, to imply, or to indicate. And then we have a ze, in what? Now let's have a look. A ze can mean which, can mean what. It can mean what are, that's colloquial. And then it can mean in what. And that's what I've used. In what? Hamavet. Death. In what? Literally it's the death, but in death. In what death? Ashir, that, yamut. The ya means would, shall, and then mut means die, right? That he would die. So therefore, in English, it is, he spoke this to allude to the type of death by which he would die. And now let's read that. V'sot diber lirmoz ze hamavet asher yamut. And now we're into 34, represented with a lamed and a dalet, the fourth letter of the alphabet. And then we have a vav yod, ayin nun, vav, aleph, tav, vav, hey, ayin, mem fit, mem at the end of the word, vav yod, aleph, mem, resh, vav, aleph, nun, chet, nun, vav, shin, mem, ayin, nun, vav, mem, nun, fit, hey, tav, vav, resh, and hey. Remembering that the white ones mean there's no sound. The ayin and the aleph have no pronunciation. So we read, va ya anu, and they answered. So if we look down here, we've got ana, which is a kal verb, to answer, to reply, to react. And of course the prefixes tell us it's a completed action. They've done it. And they answered, Oto, him, ha'am, meaning the people, va yom ru, and they, that's the vav at the end, and they said, anachnu, that's a form of we, shema nu, we have heard. So we see that shema is there, meaning to hear, and then we have heard, or we hear, min, from ha-Torah, the Torah. The people answered him and said, we have heard from the law. So now let us read that. And it is, vaya'anu oto ha'am va'yomru anachnu shema nu min ha-Torah. And part B, and we have a kaf, a yod, a hey, a mem, a shin, a yod, a chet, a yod, a kaf, a vav, a nun sofit, nun at the end of the word, lamed, ayin, vav, lamed, mem sofit, vav, aleph, yod, kaf sofit, aleph, mem, resh, tav, bayet, nun sofit, hey, aleph, dalet, mem sofit. Now let's read it. Ki, for, or it could be that, for or that, right? For ha-Mashiach, right? With the ach in front of it, right? We say the a comes before the chet. In any other vowel, it comes after it, but not with this one. So it's ha-Mashiach, the Messiah, yikon. Yikon means shall be established. So let's have a look. Now, kon is a verb to be established, to be founded, to be instituted. And as we can see, the nun drops off, replaced with the yod, which is telling us it's future, right? Shall be established. Le'olam, forever. Le'olam, forever. Ve'ek. The ek. Ek means how, and how. Amarta. Say you, or you say. Ben ha-Adam. Ben is the son of man. Right. From the law that the Messiah shall be established forever, how then can you say that the son of man? Right, now let us read that part. And it is Ki ha-Mashiach yikon le'olam ve'ek amarta ben ha-Adam. And now we have part C. We have a Zadeh, a Resh, a Yod, a Kaf Sofit, Lamed, Hey, Nun, Sin, Aleph, Vav, Mem, Yod, Bayet, Nun Sofit, Hey, Aleph, Dalet, Mem Sofit, Hey, Hey, Vav, Aleph. And now let's read it. And it is Tsarik. Tsarik is required. Right, now where do we get that? Tsarik down here as an adjective means necessary, essential, required, or a must. Is required. So therefore the Messiah is required. Le hinase. Le hinase, to be lifted up. And again, we see nasa meant to be lifted up. All right, so that's where we have this. To be lifted up is required to be lifted up. Umi, and who is, we can add that, and who is Ben Ha-Adam, the Son of Man. Ha-hu meaning that. So from the previous verse, the Son of Man must be lifted up. And who is the Son of Man? Because that's what they're questioning. Who is this Son of Man? Now let's read that. Tsarik lehinase umi ben ha-adam ha-hu. And then we come to 35, which is Lamed and a Hey, because Hey, of course, is the fifth letter in the alphabet. Then we have Vav, Yod, Aleph, Mem, Resh, Aleph, Lamed, Yod, Hey, Mem, Safit, Yod, Hey, Vav, Shin, Ayin, Aleph, Kaf, Safit, Lamed, Mem, Zadeh, Ayin, Resh, Yod, Hey, Hey, Aleph, Vav, Resh, Ayin, Mem, Kaf, Mem, Safit. Now let's read that. Vayomer, Vayomer. And he said, remembering that there's no pronoun there, so it's a he. And he said, Alehem, unto them. Hem is them, right? Unto them, Yahushua, that's who's speaking, or Yahusha. Ak, which means only, lemitzar, for a little while. So how do we get that? Let's have a look. Mitzar is a masculine noun meaning small quantity, trifle or few. So therefore, for a short period, for a small quantity. Only for a little while is normally how it's translated. And then we have ye, shall be. It could be he shall be or just shall be. Ha, or, meaning the light. Imakem. Imakem. Now, im can mean with. And kem is you, but plural you. So Yeshua said to them, the light shall be with you only for a little while. See, I've even put down here, im as a preposition means with, together, or by. And now let's read that. Vayomer Alehem Yahushua Ak Le Mitzar Yeh Haor Imakem. And now we come to 35b, and we have a Hey, a Tav, a Hey, a Lamed, a Kaf, a Vav, a Bayet, Ayin, Vav, Dalet, Lamed, Kaf, Mem, Safid, Hey, Aleph, Vav, Resh, Pei, Nun, Safit, Yod, Kaf, Samek, Hey, Aleph, tav, kaf, mem safit, hey, chet, shin, kaf safit. Now let's read it. Hit halaku. Hit halaku. You walk. Ba'od, still in. Or in still. Right? La kem, for you. Still in for you. Ha-or, the light. Pen, lest. Ye-ka-se. Ye-ka-se. Shall cover. Less shall cover. And we looked at it. Kisa is a PL verb to cover, to conceal, to hide. Less shall cover. Et kem, so that's grammar marker and then you plural. Ha-choshek. Ha-choshek, meaning the darkness, because choshek means darkness. And in English, you walk while the light is with you, lest the darkness overcome you. Now let's read that. And it is, hit halaku ba'od lakem ha'or pen ye ka se et kem ha-choshek. And we come to part C. It's a vav, a hey again, lamed, kaf safit, bet, chet, shin, kaf safit, lamed, aleph, yod, dalet, ayin, aleph, nun, hey, vav, aleph, hey, lamed, kaf safit. The ha-holek, and the one walking, because we have a holek, which usually is like a participle mean walking, and therefore it's the one walking. The one walking and the one walking, choshek, in darkness, because choshek is darkness, lo, which is not, yada, will know, because yada means to know, right? Will know, ana, which means where, who he is, holek, meaning going. See, again, it's got the cholam up there, which is a participle meaning going. Same as this meant walking. The one who walks in the darkness does not know where he is going. Right, now let's read that. The ha-holek ba-choshek lo yeda ana hu holek. And that brings us to the end, and now we're going to see just what we have retained from that. And we see a lamed, which we know is a value of 30, and an aleph, which has a value of 1. So we're in 31, and it says ata, which is now, ha'olam, the world, hazeh, this, nidon, is judged, ata, now, yushlak, shall be cast or shall be expelled, sar, the prince, ha'olam, of the earth, of the world, sorry. Now the world, this, is judged. Now shall be expelled the prince of the world. Hazeh, this, the world this, in other words. And it's chutza, to the outside, we could say. Outside. To the world this, out. Outside, right? So let's have a look. This to the outside. Then we have a Lamed 30, Ve'et 2. Va'ani, and I, behi nasi. Nasi. All right? Which is in my lifting up. In, my is the yod at the end. In my lifting up. Me'al, from upon, ha'aretz, the earth. Em shok, I shall draw or attract. Kulam, all of them, or them all. Elay, to me. And the translation, and I, in my lifting up from upon the earth, I shall draw them all to me. Then we have Lamed 30, Gimel 3. We're in 33. The Zot, and this, Diber, he spoke. Well, there's no pronoun, so it's he spoke. Lir Moz, to hint, to indicate. A Zay, in what? Ha Mavet, death, ashir, that, Yamut, he would die. And this he spoke to hint in what death that he would die. And then we have a Lamed and Dalet, which is 30 and 4. Vaya anu, and they answered, Oto, him, ha'am, the people, va'yom ru, and they said, Anachnu, we, shamanu, we have heard, min, from ha-Torah, the Torah, the law. And they answered him, the people that is, and they said, we have heard from the Torah. Ki, which is for or that, ha-Mashiach, the Messiah, yikon, shall be established, le'olam, forever, ve'ek, and how, amarta, do you say, or you say, Ben, son, ha-Adam, the son of Adam, that the Messiah shall be established forever, and how say you, the Son of Man? Sarik is required or essential, lehinase, to be lifted up. Me, and who is Ben, the son, ha-Adam, of man. Ha-who, meaning that, is required to be lifted up, and who is the Son of Man that? Then we have Lamed 30 and a Hey, which is 5, 35. Vayomer, and he said, Elehem, unto them, Yahushua, Ak, which can be only Lemitzar, which is for a little while in context. Yea, he shall be, or it shall be. Ha, or the light, imakem, which means with you. And we have, and he said unto them, Yahushua, only for a little while shall be the light with you. And then we have hit halaku which means you, that's the vav at the end, you walk. Ba'od, which is in still or still in, lakem for you, ha or the light, pen lest ye ka say, shall be covered, you could say, or shall cover. Et kem, grammar marker, and then you kem, ha choshek, meaning the darkness. You walk, that's an imperative, still in, for you the light, lest shall cover, grammar marker, you, the darkness. Let's come back a bit. I think we've got an error here. So we're actually in 35b, not 30b, right? The ha-holek. And the one walking, because it's got holek meaning walking, ba-choshek. In darkness, lo not, yeda does know, na, where, who, he, or he is, holek, meaning going. The one walking in darkness not will know where he is going. And that brings us to our vowel markings. And let's pick the bottom line, remembering that when the vav has a dot next to it, it's called a shuruk. So the sound that the vav's going to make is oo. And when we have 3 diagonal dots, it's a kubutz. Also it has the oo sound. And this is a segal next to a shava, and it's called a kataf segal. And of course, that's like an end of syllable followed by an e sound, se. And this is called a chirik, so it's an I sound. This is a kataf patak, so it's a short a sound, pa. And this is a kataf kamas, so it's a longer a sound, ka. Okay. And of course, we're at the end here, and of course we were using lamed, and we were doing I think 35, so therefore it was lamed, and we had a hey, we also had a dalet and a gimel, so if we look at these are the ones we're using, right? In addition to lamed. But let us never forget the other ones that we don't use much. Tav, 400. Shin, 300. Resh, 200. And Kuf, 100. And again, I've repeated the resources. BeitHamashiach.com. Very useful. And the doitinhebrew.com dictionary, which is also extremely useful. So for those who are learning their Hebrew, these are great resources, and I just pray you are blessed by going through these lessons and gradually picking up how to read it, understanding the individual words, and I just want to wish you a Shavua Tov, a good 7 or a good week. Amen.